It's now time to go digital, and I'm joined by Wayne Marsh. He's the owner of eBusiness Solutions Limited. And when I say digital, I'm talking digital money, digital business, e-banking. It's become a major part of financial life, not just in Jamaica, but overseas.
Correct.
What are some of the things that people should look out for in order to be careful and safe online when they're doing business?
All right. Well, a number of things. But one point I like to make first is a myth. That is, most people are afraid to do transactions online because they assume it's unsafe. But the truth is that most fraudulent activities goes on offline, meaning that it's easier for me to scam a card offline than online. You go to a restaurant, a service station, when that guy leaves with a credit card, he can actually skim it, which happens quite often. And then he uses it. Or even simply write off the number and use it because most people don't follow. So that's one thing.
That's true.
But moving back to online, which is more difficult, but of course it happens. Most of every chain is as strong as its weakest link. And usually the weak link is usually us in the whole security issue. Meaning that quite often when someone fraudulent activity occurs, it's usually someone you know. Sometimes even your child, your sister, your brother, some family will just use your card because you left it carelessly. Yes. So that's real world security issues. But getting a little more technical now in terms of how people might scam you. I mean, we hear of phishing scams, which is where they send you an email to say you're
a winner of something.
Right, that is scam, right? Those are like scams. But the phishing are usually where you might get an email seemingly from a legitimate financial institution.
Okay.
And it says your password has been compromised and you need to reset it. So click on this link to reset the password. And when you click on that link, it's actually sending you to the fraudulent website, which looks like a bank or your payment service provider, PayPal or whoever. And
you enter your data and it's stolen.
Right.
Now, what are some of the things that the financial institutions can do to help their clients in terms of internet security and awareness? What should a bank be telling me? Okay.
So what they can do, two things. One is education awareness, which I'll get to, and the other is on the technology side. For example, because banks are always improving. Currently, they have this what they call chip and pin technology now for credit cards, where we used to swipe in, which is mostly how people get the data offline. But they're moving where it's more a chip is inside it, and you kind of use what they call near field technology, and you put in a pin. So even your credit card now uses a pin.
So you don't have to run it anymore. The machine picks up your data and you just confirm.
Right. So they're looking at that with both debit and credit cards. But getting back to what they can do is really education continuously. Because, I mean, as you mentioned before, like scamming, most of the time you volunteer the information. Someone calls you, tell you that, boy, they're calling from this institution and they need to verify some information.
Yes.
Don't give them. Say, okay, I'll call you back. So education in terms of letting me aware of common practices. And I find that most financial institutions are a little hesitant to say too much because they know what's happening. But if they can at least, especially those that are well known, provide information to customers.
So they know what to expect.
So they know what to expect. And specifically, what are the current popular scams?
So for instance, on the Live by JN platform, which I use, whenever I go in to access my account, there's sort of a running notification that says Jamaica National will never send an email requiring your personal account information. So little hints like that from your bank along the way tells you what to expect on the road.
Right. And of course, it also would force certain things like password changes. And most people complain and they find it annoying that you have to change your password every 3 months. And you can't use the last 12 passwords, have to be different. But you, as a user, you have to find ways to come up with, creative ways to use secure password that you remember. Because your password could be a sentence, that you could just type out the sentence that you know.
That's nice.
Right. Or you could decide that you're going to use your own coding sequence. For example, you always use 1 instead of I, 3 instead of E, things like that. So you use...
That's unique to your...
You decide how you're going to use letters and numbers or, at sign for A. You decide whatever you want to do. And so you'll always use that way. Another thing going back to the education side of it, social media, as you know, is very popular, and everyone shows everything. So I mean, fraudulent activities occur, as I mentioned, phishing, but sometimes you have identity theft. And again, we are our own worst enemy. You might even see a picture of my work ID on Facebook. I could just someone who see ID, get all the information.
Or on that plane going to England and we show the passport, the boarding pass.
Exactly, you know. So you have to be very careful about the things you share.
Yes.
And even the friends you accept, because, you know, very often I get a cute girl looking quite hot sending me a friend request.
She saw your profile and she wants to be a friend, link her by email.
Right.
Some of those things, you know, you should be careful of.
Right, because more than likely, that's not how she looks in real life. And I really want to find out. So I don't accept it. You shouldn't, because what they're trying to do, because if you should use the security measures in these social networks to prevent persons from seeing your profile. Not only the fact that you don't put it out there, but the little you do should put out, you still should not let it be to the public. And don't just accept any friend, you know, because they may not really be a friend.
Be friends. Thank you very much, Wayne Marsh, with us from eBusiness Solutions Limited, sharing some very important information on how to protect yourself while doing business online. And if you have a Jamaica National account, be sure to sign up with their Live by JN platform. Very convenient, very safe, and they give you hints along the way so you can know what to expect and what not to pay any attention to when it comes on to banking online. Stay with us. We have more for you here on JNTV Insight.